All right, this is the overreaction. It's gonna take 3 hours. This is the overreaction. Same run. Yep, that's how it is. Easy, free content. All right, what do we got? 12 instances. Pretty standard, right? You go back a year. People had 9 instances, right? And this is pretty rare. People had 12. Bro, Minecraft speedrunning fucking community driven up the Nvidia stocks, fucking AMD stocks like crazy, right? Like we deserve a share in the fucking computer industry for how much fucking we buy all of the best specs and shit just to fucking open more games. Yeah, buying more parts. SynBT, I don't use this because I just haven't tried it yet. But honestly, I like my current fucking map list. It's just when you use this, it's literally you see less on your screen. The way Mapless works is the pie chart is showing lag, and if there's a chest on your screen, even if it's underground, it still lags more. So you're literally looking for chest lag. So instead, if you don't use SimBT, pick up another. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, that's like a big reason for just using any low FOVs. So you're picking up chest lag, and there's a lot of in this seat specifically. Oh, that's crazy. That's fucked up. Um, Sometimes you can get like spawners and shit, and you can get like shipwrecks or like villages, but you're looking for like a specific like one single chest of lag. So having it thin makes it so there's way less stuff on screen, which makes it like you're not gonna get as much shit. And like No Fair just said, like there's literally another buried treasure nearby, and he would have been fucked up if he had a wide screen. He might have picked up both buried treasures, which would have made it really difficult because you're trying to find one single chunk. If you're finding both, then it would have taken another like 10 seconds, or it would have fucked him up. It could have taken another 20 seconds. So that might have actually been a major carry. I should see the seed. But honestly, this overworld as well, I feel like a lot of people will just reset this. Like this is the shallowest fucking ocean you've ever seen in your whole life. And there's an island here, there's a hill here. Like this is not even an ocean. Like this is literally a lake. Like I feel like there's people out there who will just reset this because there's no shot that you find an answer. Like you're either finding a lava pool right there on the under my face cam, either you're seeing a lava pool over there, or you're seeing a room portal, or you're literally digging straight down and hoping you hit lava and getting a fucking like two flat answer. Um, Reset the preview. Yeah, what is the preview? Oh, you use that. Yeah, no shot. Bottom right. There's no water on screen. Honestly, I think most people would reset this at the sub 9 level. Depending on how I'm feeling, I'd reset this as well. Like if I was fucking tilted, I would be resetting this because there's no water on screen. This could be a desert, not a beach. Yeah, a lot of people won't even enter the seed. They'll just reset it before even getting in. Oh, the map is actually kind of slow. Using selfie cam. Not a lot of people do that. We'll get our first K3 out of the way, alright? We'll get the first one out of the way. I did pioneer using selfie cam for buried treasure. Alright? A lot of people, well, everyone, the old way you do map lists, you just stayed in the first person. I use selfie cam because it lets you load only the chunks in front of you, the row of 3 or 2 chunks in front of you, which makes you be able to limit the amount of chunks that are loaded on the pie chart. So I did pioneer that, so that's cool to see. Again, I'm not taking credit for any of the fucking things in this run. I'm just saying there's a strats can be traced down to back to someone, right? um, Mapless was found by a lot of people using a worse strat, but Mapless using Game Renderer, the way we do Mapless now, was found by Talking Mime, who also found a bunch of other shit. Like he found that 20 render distance is optimal. Um, Talking Mime found a bunch of shit. Um, yeah, there's a few things in this round that are very cool. So this set of items, you're just making iron tools here. Like everyone's just making iron tools here. Um, some people will make a gold helmet. Um, I've never believed in pre-crafting gold helmet unless you're at the like sub 20 level or something. But a lot of people do that even at the world record level, which I find really surprising. But it works for them. But making gold tools is like not really a thing. Like gold axe is good. Gold axe is faster than iron axe. It's just you have to hit 2 crits in a row, and the durability is tiny. Like you can only kill like 8 blazes and then it breaks, not including the fucking logs that you break. So people don't like making a gold axe unless you have to, basically. Gold shovel. There's a lot of people who force gold shovel because gravel sucks. Um, and gold pick. No Fear is the only gold pick guy. Like no one forces gold picks like No Fear does. He's the number one gold pick forcer in the world. Like, like this seed. It's you. Did you make the gold pick just because there's no fucking chance of a ocean here, or were you just like standard procedure in making a gold pick? I tried crafting gold picks, but I never could get into the habit of it. I just do it all the time, yeah. Because um, gold picks are only slightly faster for blocks like stone and like shit like that. Gold picks are insanely fast on netherrack. Like a gold pick saves. Let me get this up. Minecraft.wiki pickaxe. So where are we? Gold is on the right, iron is in the middle. So let's look at stone if we fucking can. So you're saving 0.2 seconds per stone. Which is not much. Like, alright, you break 5 and you've saved a second. Alright, that's pretty cool, right? um, and where is it? Where is polished blackstone? You same in the bastion. So every 5 blocks you save a second. But that's not a true second because you have to switch to the pick as well, which takes a tick, I think. I think switching takes a tick. So, it only saves 0.15. But, um, the cleanest time save there is in Netherrack. The way breaking blocks works in the game is when you break a block, there's a cooldown of a quarter of a second. And you have to craft the gold pick, yeah. And you have to have it on your hotbar. Um, every time you break a block, there's a quarter of a second delay before you can break another. And you can actually see it happening as well. If you slow down a video, you can see that the breaking animation doesn't actually start instantly. So he's gonna break this, right? You can see that animation coming through. He's holding down left click. And this animation does not start instantly. It takes a quarter. See the middle of the log? He's holding left click, but the middle of the log doesn't have the animation on it yet. No animation, no animation. Still waiting for the animation. There, it's finally started. You see that? It's finally started the animation. Like, a lot of time. And you can save that using cooldown skip. Where basically if you can charge up that cooldown in advance because that cooldown you can get rid of that cooldown by just punching a block. Um, but that's a super small time save. But that cooldown doesn't happen if you can instantly break a block. If you can break a block instantly, meaning in one tick, that's an instant break. There's no such thing as like zero tick breaking. If you can break a block in one tick, like your tool is fast enough to break it in a single tick, then the cooldown does not get added. So netherrack, see, it can be broken in one single tick, which means there's no cooldown added. So you skip a quarter of a second cooldown on every single netherrack that you break. Um, so breaking netherrack with a gold pick is the biggest gold pick time save, and it ends up being what is it? 31 times 0.25. You can save 7.7 seconds if you use it on netherrack. So a gold pick can turn into a like almost 8 second time save if you're using it on only netherrack, and it gets a little bit less than that if you're using it on other blocks. But and also with that, you're able to like move a lot quicker while you're breaking the blocks and shit. But a lot of the time you don't even need the gold pick. Like he gets two gold picks on this run, and only one of them gets used. Like the other one, I don't think gets used at all. So that's why gold picks are like a, a tech craft, because you don't always get to use it. You always have to like craft it, which takes a bit of time. Um, yeah, it's a bit of a funny craft, but no fears use it forever. Because it should be a time save. Like basically always it should be a time save, but it feels a bit silly when you don't use a gold pick a lot. Yeah, gold pick for blocks is really good, but he has shares. 35 leaves I feel like is pretty small. I don't know what most people get. I always try and get at least like 50. I think most people try and get around 50. Um, no light out of the room portal is pretty unlucky. You've got a really... Oh, you got Birch as well. Yeah, he ended up getting 46 leaves. 50 in ranked, 30 in RSG, yeah. um, you're pretty likely to get either a fire charge or flint and steel or flint out of a room portal. Um, and it's like if you look at this time loss, like of not getting it, it's crazy unlucky that he didn't get it, and it ends up being. Oh, he's already fucking got it. Jesus. So 119 leaving. So like 9 seconds of time loss. So that's like unlucky 9 seconds. Like that's just straight up unlucky. It's pretty normal with ruin portal runs. Like if you see a ruin portal and you're gonna go to it to enter there, no one thinks I should get gravel because the chance of getting a light out of a ruin portal is so extremely high that you don't even think about like getting gravel, um, like beforehand or anything. You know. So 9 seconds of like getting pretty scammed by the game. um, loaded at 8k. 8k chunks is like, what is that? That's like 8 chunks away or something. I think 8k is like around eight chunks away, somewhere around there. Oh no, 10k is 12, isn't it? So I guess it could be like 9 or 10 chunks away, which is pretty fucking close. People playing for world record, they'll have their render distance on like 16 or maybe up to 18. As long as the terrain is really good, it doesn't really matter how far a bastion is a lot of the time, because all that matters is like, yeah, the terrain needs to be fast enough because a hill is really slow compared to flat ground, right? That's pretty obvious. And also, how far away the fortress is far more important than how far away, like how far away the fortress is from the bastion. is more important from how far away the bastion is from spawn. So, um, pretty close, but also kind of far. Like this is like a similar distance to um, similar bastion distance to Xylonox's world record. Whereas like it was a bit of a runaway, like you kind of had to run pretty far for it, but the fortress was like what 3 pearls in Xylonox's run. I think this fortress is like 3, 4 pearls as well. um, but the craziest thing, one of the craziest things about the run has already happened, which is that this is a 139 enter. Xylonox entered 10x, right? It's like a 109 or 108, 107 enter or some shit. Like insanely fast, which gives you like a huge head start. So this is a huge fucking micro speedrunning topic thing. Is like splits and how that all works. So like if you think of the most optimal like ideal situation, right? You could enter the Nether at 8 seconds off of a ruin portal if you it just has obsidian and a light in there. You could enter at like 8 seconds. Um, and then you could spawn in a bastion. You could leave that like sub 1 minute. You could be out of the bastion sub one. And then the fortress could be right there, and you just pearl there. And then you could have a looting sword out of the ruin portal, and you could kill 2 blazes. They could drop 4 rods each, and you could be out of there, right? So you could be exiting Nether like at like 110 or like 120 or like 130 or some shit. Like that's the the best possible situation in Minecraft is like obscene, right? Like you could get like a sub 3 or some like insane shit if every single possible thing, which will never happen ever, but you could technically get like a sub 3 in random seed if you just every single possible thing went perfectly. And then the reason that's interesting is how you like, all right, sub 3 is the best possible. How is the world record only fucking like it's twice as slow? It's more than twice as slow than that, right? Like 724 is insanely fast, but compared to a perfect possible situation, it's like slow. Um, it's just you have to stretch everything out. So okay, imagine that sub 3 run, but you have to run 5 minutes, right? So then, or we'll say 4 minutes. You have to run 4 minutes to the bastion, right? Um, that would still be a sub 7 run. Um, if you had to run 4 minutes to the bastion and everything else went perfectly, so even though you have that 4 minute time loss, it could still be fine, you know? No, Crook's run apparently would have still been faster. So the way Minecraft speedrunning splits work is you just have to stretch everything out. It's not that like you should have a really fast this. You should have a really fast this. You like it's that some things have to be really fast and you have to allow for other things to be slower. Like how fast a split goes just gives you more wiggle room. So if you have an insanely fast nether enter, it means that everything else can be slower and still be really good. But if you have a slow nether enter, it means you need to make up for that in RNG later on. So a 139 enter is fast, but people farm sub 130, sub 120 enters all the time. Um, like I'll get like a sub 120 enter maybe 3 times a day. Um, and I have really lenient resetting. Like I'm not resetting hard for anything, and I'll still get like really fast enters like that a lot. Um, but people who are really strict on answers, they'll like enter sub 130 like nonstop. Um, so 139 is like that was a 139 enter was really good. Like the beginning of last year. Um, so it's just kind of crazy that that's like it's a really late enter in a world record that beat a 745. But at the same time, that's just how Minecraft speedrunning works, is that you can just be unlucky at this stage and get lucky later. Or you can get lucky early and get unlucky later. That's just how the game works. um Scans. Sees fortress on spawn. Doesn't see a spawner, but it's the good side of the fort there. You can see that's the bad side of the fort. The chests is the good side. So it looks pretty good. Like seeing the fort is one thing, seeing the good part is another thing, and then seeing a spawner is another thing. In Xylonox's world record, he saw the spawner off of spawn, which was like pretty ludicrous. But here you're just seeing the good part. That doesn't mean that it's close. Like the thing about fortresses is you can have a close fort, but the reality could be that you're in the shitty part of the fort and the spawner is fucking miles away, you know? The spawner could be right here or it could be miles away. So seeing a fortress doesn't really mean that much because until you see the spawner, it's probably going to be like, well, you've got no way of knowing if it's good or not. Nether Wastes terrain. Out of all the biomes, Nether Wastes is the fastest. There's no trees in the way. There's no like hoglins. There's less piglins that spawn in wastes, so you're having less hostile mobs. No skeletons. No Soul Sand Valley like Soul Sand. Like, yeah, he typed E in the chat, which is something we did in fucking 2020. People do not type the direction of the fort anymore. It's really funny. It's a fucking insane throwback. Goldfish memory. Fuck, I forgot to have it on this. When I just say it out loud, usually that sticks for me. I just have to say it like non-stop as well, but I do forget it sometimes. So the Bastion answer, dude, no one answers at the back here, man. It's kind of crazy. Like, no one fucking answers at the back here. I guess you see that there's like a bit of a wall here, but even then, I would still be risking that, especially with a gold pick on my bow. Like with a gold pick on my bow and seeing that it's like still wastes over there, like I'm gonna be able to shred through the netherrack. This is an insane decision, and that it worked out as well. Because did you do a Y level check, or did you just send it in? Yeah, you just sent it in. Because you could just get like pretty fucked on the like what layer of the treasure that you like dug into. It turned out to just be the fucking perfect layer. Like, well, I guess one layer above would maybe be slightly better, but this is like basically the perfect layer. An insane decision that it works out. Like no one does that. Also, the inside of the treasure can generate way different. You can have like fucking like bulbs of shit that are just like floating there, and they just block. They just completely block you. So entering at the back of treasure like this is crazy. Like no one does that. It's crazy that it works out so well. Then this is pretty standard treasure routing. Throwing the first gold is super normal. Throwing the second gold here, I think a lot of people would not throw the second gold. The reason to throw a gold is obviously to distract the pigs and to not get shot by this guy. But the problem of throwing a gold is that if that guy is trading that gold, he's going to be 6 seconds late, right? If he does make his way up the stairs and into the trading pit, which is honestly unlikely because a 6 second like pause on this guy is probably going to fuck him up. So you might just lose an entire pig by throwing this gold here just to save like one arrow shot of damage, you know? So I think a lot of people would not throw gold here, so you can have another trader because every trader matters in bastions. So that's a like pretty safe decision as well. Or that's a pretty safe decision to make, I mean. Also, I forgot to say, like the Nether Enter 139 is like pretty late. But then the Bastion Enter is like, you could consider this like a pseudo Bastion Enter, like the 2-1x Bastion Enter there. I think a lot of people would consider when you make it to this, the real Bastion Enter, like 221. That's about standard, I'd say, for like good runs. Like a 221 Bastion. Like, this is like good pace. This would be considered, alright, this is pretty good. Like, it's not anything insane. Um, it's not like slow. It's not like a dead run. Like, this is just like, alright, this is pretty good kind of thing. For world record, that is. Because No Fear is only like played for world record like ever, right? Like, I mean, you do play out sub tens and you play out fucking runs and shit. Um, but you've basically always been world record oriented. Because people have all kinds of shit. People have fucking like spawn in the bastion at one flat, you know? You can be starting the bastion at like 1-1x, 1-2x, 1-3x. That happens all the time. Like probably once a day or some shit. Someone spawns like in the bastion at like 1-2, 1-3. So that's like pretty ludicrously faster than this. Um, so this is just like a pretty standard, like completely bog standard, like fast run. Anyone that would be watching this run live wouldn't really think much of it. They wouldn't be fucking calling their mom saying world record's about to happen, you know? This treasure routing is pretty standard as well. Going right here, I think that's a pretty safe strat. A lot of people will skip this bottom right gold block. I definitely don't get this bottom right gold block unless I'm getting scammed on gold. Um, I think a lot of people will not go to that gold block. Because the amount of time that you invest just to get it, and it could not even be there as well, and you don't even need the gold a lot of the time. If you're getting scammed on gold or scammed on obsidian, that's usually when people will get it. Um, but it's definitely that's like the most optional treasure gold block. Yeah, insane like that's maximum gold forcing. Like we had a phase in 2021 where we were playing just one half of the treasure, and we would do shit like only play single triples and stables. Um, and basically we'd just like try and get insanely lucky, and it would never work. And then Crooks came along and he did the complete opposite. He just always tried to make the Bastion work. He would always get like backup blocks mid route. He would always get both halves of treasure. Um, and just he always tried to like he wanted to he wanted his micro mechanics to be really fast, and then in all of his runs he wanted the RNG to be like at a minimum kind of thing, and that's how people still kind of play. Like um, his play style like that is how people still kind of play. So that's what you're seeing here, right? Is like maximize the amount of gold blocks. It takes a lot of fucking time to get every single gold block and treasure. Which is why it doesn't feel great because you have to spend so much time getting them, um, especially compared to other bastions. But it just maximizes the chance of the run progressing. Um, Scams on obsidian. Scammed. I've lost every single person in the world who speedruns this game has lost runs and treasure to getting scammed on obsidian. You only have those 4 chests that are easily accessible. There are other chests in the other half of the bastion, the bottom treasure part, but they're RNG for them to generate at all. I think each chest is like a 1 in 4 chance or some bullshit. And the amount of time that you have to invest to get those chests is like ludicrous. So basically, if you don't get obsidian in these 4 chests, it's just over. And considering the low amount of gold that you already get in treasure, like um, you you don't have a lot of gold blocks in treasure. Every gold block in treasure at the top halves are only 70% chance to generate, so you get scammed on gold a lot. Treasure's just a major scam artist. Um, I lost a sub 9 like a few months ago or some shit to just getting no obsidian and then getting scammed on gold, and Every single player has stories of losing really good seeds to treasure, which could be why he got every single god block, is because he's so traumatized, the same that everyone else is, on getting scammed on everything, in treasures. Go hang. See, 9 obsidian. Like, we've traded an insane amount of gold, still only 9 obsidian. Like, treasure is just such a scam artist. But insane amount of wool. Like, everything else is juicing. And it's like 3 stacks of pearls, plenty of fire res. It's just scammed on obsidian. So, this is where one of the leader of the runs is the fucking gold carrots. The gold carrots out of the ruin portal is like the #1 carry of the entire run. Gold carrots are just obscene. Like, let me find this. Ninja brain food. How much does a gold carrot fucking save? I mean, heal? It's like 6 hearts or something ridiculous. Food spreadsheet. Golden carrot. Quick heal. Yeah, 5.5 hearts. If you eat a golden carrot optimally, it heals 5.5 hearts. And if you eat it suboptimally, then it heals 4.5 to 5 hearts. So it's just an insane amount of fucking healing. And you only really get that out of room portals. Like, shipwreck runs are rare nowadays because shipwrecks are just janky. Like, they're slow to loot. It's slow to get wood. You don't get blocks, which is really bad. Blocks is really important. Like, getting either leaves or getting netherrack from a gold pick, shit like that. Blocks are really fucking important for terrain management, for bridging, for bastion routing. Then why does X keep playing shipwrecks? Because XQC is not trying to beat a 745. Not sure if you knew that or not. It doesn't matter if something is slow as well, because as I said earlier, one thing can be slow, it just means something else needs to be faster. That's like the fucking thing to learn from this run more than any, is that you can have a slower than average nether enter, you can have a slower, or you can have an average bastion enter, and an average fortress enter as well. And you just need to get lucky from there on. So 424. This is pretty fucking just completely bog standard. Like, any like basically every single person with like a sub 11, a lot of people with sub 12s, even a lot of people with sub 13s, have like a 4x for it. Like, maybe not a 424, but like a sub 5 fort is like, it's super achievable. Like, it's really achievable. And it happens non-stop. Like, every single day, people probably get a fucking sub 5 fort, like, I don't know, 3 times an hour. Like, the community of Minecraft speedrun, probably like 3, 4, 5, 6 times an hour, people will have sub 5 forts. Yeah, people spam these. But it's just fortresses have this insane fucking, like, the RNG can just either go ridiculous or completely scam you out. Like, you could spend 3-4 minutes in a fortress if you get unlucky, or you could get a no fair fort. Yeah, 40-second blaze split is insanely rare. So also we had a pearl hang to home portal there. First blaze doesn't drop. This blaze is scary, and that rod not dropping, you better fucking like go to church, dude. Like, you need to fucking thank some motherfucker for this rod not fucking falling down. Like, Jesus, dude. Like, that is fucking like if you think about the chance of it, the blaze was like here. There's probably like a fucking 70% chance that this rod would have fell down. Probably like 70% chance you lose this fucking rod, man. That has to be one of the biggest fucking RNG things in the whole world. And then dropped render to get strays. Did you even like slowly drop render? Or did you just say fucking? You just said fuck it with the render. Like, what did you do here? There's no way you would have left on 4, dude. I'm not believing you on that. I wasn't even watching. 6 render. No one leaves on 4. Yeah, you just did 6 render. What the fuck? This does not look like 6. This looks like 2. Am I insane? Did I miss another render distance drop? Am I fucking not watching the screen properly? It is 2? Oh. No, I keep looking at the wrong things. Oh, for the hang, right. Yeah, so that's fast. So what do we have, right? Why was this decision made? We're at the spawner. It's an open spawner, so that's pretty good, right? We don't know where the other spawner is yet. There's a bunch of strays up here. Let's kill the strays and see what happens. We don't know where the other spawner is yet, though. If you want to raise render and look for another spawner, you can't, because your pearl is hung like right there, and you're risking the pearl unhanging. So either you see the spawner right now, or you don't, and he doesn't. It was not 5 for 5. The first rod didn't drop. So yeah, you can't really raise render. It's a waste. So depending on the biome, you get different fortress outcomes. Basically, there's not actually different fortress mechanics depending on the biome. It's just as a result of mechanics that exist for every biome, there are the butterfly effect that happens on fortresses as well. So in Soul Sand Valleys and Warped Forests, only skeletons, ghasts, and endermen can spawn, respectively, in their biomes, right? But when they would have been developing those biomes, they would have been like, Jesus, this is ridiculous. Like, because there's a mob cap of 70 in the game. And they would have looked at a warped forest, they would have seen 70 endermen and thought, this is ridiculous. Like, this looks so dumb. And they would have seen, like, a Soul Sand Valley, and seen, like, fucking 60 skeletons and 10 ghasts. They would have been like, this looks stupid as fuck. Like, we need to, like, add something to the game to have less mobs, because this looks ridiculous. So what they did is they made it so every mob has like a sphere around it or some shit. I never learned exactly how it works, but basically every single mob has like an area around it where nothing else can spawn. So you can't have like an enderman spawn next to an enderman. You can have a group of endermen spawn in the same spot at once, but you can't have an enderman and then 1 second later another enderman spawns right next to him. And that's their fix for like not having too many mobs in those biomes. And the result of that was in a fortress, those mobs did not have those like spheres added, those areas added. So you would have like 10 skeletons that would spawn on a Soul Sand Valley, and then you'd walk into the fortress, and since there were only 10 skeletons that spawned, there's 60 other mobs that are unspawned in the mob cap. Like, the mob cap has not been filled yet. So whenever you go to a Soul Sand Valley fortress or a Warped Forest fortress, you always see there's an insane amount of like blazes, wither skeletons, magma cubes, like all of that. Because the mob cap is like empty in the rest of the biome, and it's full, like it just gets filled up completely in the fortress. But that does not happen in Crimson. That does not happen in Wastes. That does not happen in Basalt. So you get pretty normal spawning behaviors in the fortresses in these biomes. So the decision here is either you either go back to the spawner. Well, that's the only decision. If you want to get a 6 rod here, you have to go back to the fucking spawner. And spawners are super RNG, right? Let me check again. I always forget the numbers on this shit. Um, spawner. Spawner. I don't care. Monster spawner. Seconds. Spawners can spawn every either 10 to 40 seconds. Right? You have to be within the range of the spawner. You have to be close enough to it to see the little guy spinning around. And it's every 10 to 40 seconds that it'll spawn. So the spawner was activated here. You get 1 spawn for free when you show up. So that's the one for free. And that was at 4:31. And then the spawner would have stopped spinning here. So 15 seconds have went by on the spawner. So there's another, if he goes back, there's up to 25 seconds until the next spawner like could spawn. Like if he got insanely unlucky, he could just lose 25 seconds. So basically you don't want to do that because you're trying to play fast. Um yeah, you're trying to play fast. There's just no shot that you go back to an online spawner when you've got this amount of rods. So 5 rods, right? When you throw an eye, these days you've got a pretty good chance because of how powerful the calculator is. You've got a pretty good chance when you throw one eye that you're gonna know where the stronghold is because the calculator is just very silly, and it can know where the stronghold is in one eye throw. So because you don't have to throw 2 eyes, you've got a better chance, obviously, of an eye not breaking. That's one thing to consider. The portal room, every slot in the portal room, right? There's 12 slots. Each of them has a 1 in 10 chance of having an eye in it. And what that ends up meaning is that there's something like an 85% chance for there being one single eye in there, something like that. So you've got a really good chance of, like, if you only have 11 eyes, you're still going to be able to finish it. Like, you get pretty unlucky if you can't finish the portal with only 11 eyes, basically. But to get 2 eyes, it's a 1 in 3 chance. So when you only have 10 eyes, there's only a 1 in 3 chance that you're going to be able to finish the portal room to enter the end, which is pretty harsh odds. Your cube. Pretty harsh odds. If you only have 9 eyes, right, and you need 3 in the portal room, that's a 1 in 9 chance for there to be 3 or more eyes in the portal room. And for a 4 eye, for 4 eyes already in the portal, meaning you only need 8 eyes, meaning you only need 4 rods. That's a 1 in 40. So you're never playing for a 1 in 40. Like a 1 in 40 chance to be able to like complete the portal, it's just never happening. But a 1 in 3 chance, that sounds like pretty good now, you know? Like if you think about the benefits, the benefit is you only need 5 rods. You only need 5 rods, which means that's 1 less blaze that you need, right? The biggest thing about leaving on 5 though is that getting an extra blaze is really difficult. If there's 20 blazes in front of you, you'll go for 6 or even 7 rods because it doesn't really matter. Like you can just kill every single blaze. It doesn't really matter how bad the rates are. It only takes like, what is it, like 1.3 seconds to kill a blaze. If that, like depending on the situation, it could be less than that. Especially if you're using like a diamond sword or something. It's not 1.3 seconds. Whatever. It doesn't take like the time save that you get from leaving on 5 rods. It's not in how like it's not in that you don't kill an extra blaze. It's that finding another blaze is insanely difficult. The hardest part of fortresses is getting blazes. Like that's the challenge. Um, and you can have really fast runs with bad rates. Like the challenge is not getting good RNG on the rates. The challenge is just on the blazes existing at all. Um, if he wants another blaze here, he has to go back to the spawner, and he has no other option. That is the only option, is go back to the spawner, and he could waste 25 seconds, up to 25 seconds, waiting for another spawn, another cycle. And even when that cycle happens, he might not even get another blaze, right? He might not even get another rod, I mean. Like maybe it only spawns one blaze and it doesn't drop. Maybe it spawns 4 blazes and all 4 don't drop, you know? And then he's just lost like 50 seconds or some wait, he's lost like 25 seconds, like what, 40 seconds or something to not even getting that 6th rod, you know? So when you leave on 5, it seems crazy, but it's actually extremely reasonable to leave on 5 because a 1 and 3 is not as bad as like what could really happen. You can get super scammed on getting a 6 rod. It happens to everyone all the time as well. Everyone has stories of like trying to get a 6th rod and just getting completely owned. Um, um, we haven't had a world record of leaving on 5 yet, but it started being a thing in like 2021 or something. Just because of that argument of getting another blaze is really difficult. If you have another blaze there, kill it. But if you don't have another blaze and you're trying to play really fast, you should just go because you could either get scammed more and more and more, or you could just there's all kinds of just awful shit that can happen um, when you're trying to get a 6 rod. So leaving on 5 is just not actually that reckless at all. It's a super reasonable decision. Um, he tried to use Bowtie here. So Bowtie is there's some strange mechanics that happens when you get in a boat that like standardizes your position or something strange like that. Um, I don't think he liked the outcome that he got. I don't exactly know how Bowtie works, but he tried to use like a specific strat or whatever, um, but it didn't really work out. Usually, you only have to throw one eye when you use a Bowtie, basically, like probably like 90% of the time or something. Um, but he threw another eye. 5 flat home portal, yeah. No, there's no such thing as if you're going for water record, you leave on 5. It's entirely down to the situation. Um, it's it's all situational. If there's another blaze there, you kill it. It doesn't matter what time you're going for. If you're going for sub 4, you kill another blaze. It's all in down to the situation. In his situation, he had no other blazes, so you just go. You just have to go. Even Forsen, who was trying to get a sub 1638. Even he would leave on even he would leave on 5 rods. His chat thought he was stupid, but like everyone who knows the game, like that's a completely reasonable decision. Even though he's going for such a slow time, getting out of the blaze is just so prohibitive. Like it's so difficult. Um. So home portal was not a thing before this year. People tried it, but it never worked. Um, because what happens when you do home portal is usually your terrain is dog shit. Like if you open 40 fucking new worlds right now and you go to the Nether, most of them are gonna have like pretty awful terrain. As in like it's going to be hard to get back to your home portal. Like if you create a new fucking Minecraft right now, right? Remember where your home portal is. Go to a fortress and then try and go back. It's going to be really hard most of the time. Um, Obviously it can happen sometimes, right? So like this seed, you can do it on it because the fortress is here, the home portal is here, and like the terrain is completely wide open there. So it's like it seems pretty reasonable. But the majority of seeds, I don't know a number. I could probably say fucking like 70% of seeds, maybe more than that. You can't home portal on them because the terrain is too bad to get back to your home portal. Um, and getting away from your home portal is also really difficult because even if it's good terrain to get back, the eye could point somewhere awful, right? The eye could point somewhere really bad that's just completely built in a wall, right? And then your runner's dead because there's no way you're going to put mine through like hundreds of blocks. Because the thing about Home Portal is it's guaranteed that the stronghold will be further than 1200 blocks. Whereas if you build the portal in the stronghold ring, um, you can look up what a stronghold ring is. Um, it could be 0 blocks away. 20 obsidian is really good because you can build one portal in the ring, and then the stronghold is most likely to be like 800 blocks away or something like that. Either it's 800 or 1200 or something like that. But it's guaranteed to be over 1200 away when you do home portal. Which the thing about terrain to second portal is that obviously the further you have to go to get to the stronghold, the more lucky you have to get for the terrain to be good there. If a stronghold is like 200 blocks away, it's pretty common that you're going to be able to. Well, it's basically you're basically always going to be able to get to the quartz if it's 200 blocks away because you need to go from here to here like a tiny little distance. It's going to be really easy to get there. But like 1200 away, you're going to have to get pretty lucky that the terrain is going to be super open that you can like freely path through it. 1489, that's pretty far, right? You have to get pretty lucky for that. I had a run yesterday. It was a 515 home portal. What was it? What did I get? 513 home portal. Um, it was a bit different to his though, because his is in a ruin portal, mine was in an ocean. He had a 501, I had a 513 home portal. Um, my stronghold was 2,400 blocks away. So an extra 1,000 blocks further than his. And I got pretty lucky for like maybe 1,600 blocks, and then the last 800 blocks was just a complete scam. Um, but this terrain and this home portal run is ludicrous. Like this is the most open terrain that anyone has fucking ever witnessed. There's free pearl there, free pearl there, free pearl over there as well. He's already at a low Y level. He doesn't have to dig down or do anything weird like that. He's literally already low enough. You need to be low enough in order to hit the stronghold. Otherwise, you'll get sent to the surface with fucking trees and shit. So this is the most insane, like, home portal to second portal terrain like you've ever fucking seen. It's just so insanely good. Preemptive. Throwing a pearl here is crazy. It saves like 1.5, maybe 2 seconds. But because he had gold carrots, he has 3 more salmon. It just doesn't matter. Zero prep, basic zero prep. You have to pre-craft the beds because you just don't have a lot of time to like pearl and craft. And then there's a lot of zero is super RNG. You could spawn underground, and if you spawn underground, you're gonna have to mine up and then pearl, which is gonna be really slow. Um, it could be the dragon can spawn at the back as well, which takes more time to get there. The RNG of zero is in the type of tower that it's on, that it's like circling. Um, and also it can fly away. The dragon can fly away if you set it up low. The reason people go really, really high is mostly just so that it doesn't fly away. Um, if you set up the zero cycle, like the beds and everything, if you set it up low, which sometimes you're forced to do, it has a chance of flying away just by pure RNG. Like no human error at all, it can just fly away. Um, so if you spawn underground, you're going to be late there, which means you might have to set it up lower. If the tower is really short, you probably have to set it up lower as well. If the dragon's at the back, you're probably gonna have to set it up lower. But this is literally beginner's zero. Like this specific tower, 85, front 85. This is literally the most beginner friendly zero. Like it's unthrowable. Like anyone who knows zero, this is the easiest tower probably in the entire game. It lets you get to 99 really easily, which means that it basically can't fly away. The setup is the most simple setup there is. This is literally the zero that people learn. The first one that you ever learn is this. So for a world record zero, it's funny that it's the easiest like one at all, and it probably makes it look really simple to the point where people might try and learn it if they shouldn't. Oh, you actually set up at 95? I didn't know that. You can definitely go to see he's set up at 95 here. Have to change blocks, yeah. You can definitely go to 99. And I like most people who practice zero a lot, right? Like the people who are really good at zero basically will be going to 99 here. It's funny that you went to 95. There's I don't remember what the odds are, but there's probably like a 15% chance, maybe 10% chance that the dragon just flies away and you would have to get a perch instead of zero. Um, Everyone has lost runs to the dragon flying away. Someone who was it? Camo lost. Was it a 7-2 or a 7-3 world record like earlier in the year to the dragon flying away? Completely no human error at all. Yeah, 730. No human error at all. The dragon just flew away because of pure RNG. Because he set up at 95 because he had to. Or was it 91? It was 95. It was 95. It was like a back cage tower. He did 91. Oh. Yeah, 91, you've got like a pretty good chance that it flies away. Probably like 40%, maybe 30%. So 4 months potassium.
Congrats on WRK3.
So yeah, there's a little bit of luck involved with this dragon not flying away. At 103, it can't fly away. I think 99 has a tiny, tiny, tiny chance of flying away. Um, no, the way zero works is the dragon spawns in and then it circles a node. And it circles the node until it gets to a y coordinate. The nodes are invisible. There's like a couple of dozen of nodes or something. And that's how the dragon path finds. The dragon doesn't randomly move around the end. It has invisible pillars that it flies to. It flies to this pillar and then it decides I'm gonna fly to this pillar, and then it does that. And while it's flying between every single pillar, it chooses a Y level that it's targeting. So sometimes you'll see the dragon just randomly circle, and that's because it's trying to get to the Y level that it's targeting. So when the dragon spawns in, it spawns at like Y 128 or some fucking ludicrous shit, and it has a target Y level that it's trying to get to. So it could be trying to get to 95. It could be trying to get down to 84 or some shit, right? In zero, you want to hope that it's targeting a low Y level because you don't want it to fly away. But if it targets 99, then this dragon would have flown away. It would have got to Y99 and then flown away to its next direction. Um, so the way zero works is um, you just go to the node. You can just see which node it's flying around, right? And you can just go there, and your explosion, the explosion of the bed knocks it up, so it keeps spinning. So it can't get down to the Y level that it's targeting because it keeps getting exploded back up. So the timing is pretty like specific because if you do it too early, it's not going to be enough of explosion for it to be launched back up into the air. Um, and also you need to deal enough damage as well. If you deal a lot of explosion to it, it's going to go really high, but you're not going to deal a lot of damage. So you have to balance damage with like exploding. Um, and also every like most of the time you'll see people forbid a one cycle. You can't really forbid in zero. Like you can, just not really with these setups that most people do. There are setups that let you forbid, but they're really difficult and inconsistent. Um, so a standard one cycle is 5 beds, and a good one cycle is 4 beds. In zero, a standard zero cycle is 6 beds, and a really good zero is 5 beds. Most people are able to do 5 beds relatively consistently nowadays, but it is really difficult to hit 5 beds. Claims is consistent, yeah. So this is a 6 bed zero, which is just standard. The amount of time lost for not for like a 6 bed instead of a 5 bed is like 2 seconds or something. So it lost like a couple of seconds to it being a 6, not a 5. But the height is a little bit RNG in zero as well, making it easier or harder to zero. And I'd say the height wasn't very good for hitting a 5 bed. You'd definitely be able to hit a 5 bed, but yeah, pretty standard 6 bed zero. And that is 724. So 21 second, um, 21 second time save over the world record. 745 was like ludicrous. Like there's only one other sub 8, by Duke, who got 751 after getting some shitty terrain. Um, Zalanox has started running again recently. He's been doing side quests. He got 115 world record. He got sub 40 combined. Was it sub 30 combined? Whatever it fucking was. Yeah, sub 40 combined. Um, but Zalanox says he's back and he's sweating. He already got like a 6-2x second portal or some shit. It missed, but it was a 6-2x second portal. So Xylonox is already back in form. Like, um, so he's gonna be trying to get it. There's a lot of people who are world record capable, but so many people are fucking uh addicted to ranked. Ranked and its consequences have been a disaster for random seed glitchless. Um, but at the same time, there's a lot of ranked brain habits. So that in ranked, you have to play a different way to the way that you play in random seed. Because you need to finish the run, you have to do a lot of like baby shit to like secure the run getting finished. And that kind of like decision making adaptations that you have to do to play ranked um, doesn't convert well into RSG at all. Yeah, I did say that for FSG a few years ago. I was number one FSG denier. Although FSG was developed with my help, the early FSG filters, the late FSG filters were developed by other people. Um, yeah, but home portal is a ranked brain strat. Like, um, without ranked, people would just be building a portal with 10 obsidian there and being extremely far from the stronghold and resetting. But because No Fear has a little bit of ranked brain, he went for the home portal and it worked. um, what's the other ranked brain? Oh, you learned zero, but that's I wouldn't say that zero cycle is ranked brain. Zero is literally just standard. Has been standard for a really long time. um, ranked brain. Oh yeah, leaving on 5 rods you do not do in ranked. You get 6 or 7 rods in ranked. You'd go back to the spawner if you had ranked brain. But No Fear doesn't have full ranked brain because he's not. He doesn't actually play ranked that much. I've never seen him play it, but apparently you do. But it's an insanely clean run, right? What is ranked? It's just you get put in the same seed as someone else, and it's a race to beat it. Like you're playing it on your own. It's just like you're playing the seed at the same time as someone else. You know, like you have the seed and they have their own copy of the seed that they're playing. Um, and it's interesting, but it does not. It's not good for. It's not good for getting a good PB in random seed. It's it can be good for a bit of practice, but the negatives of ranked outweigh the positives of ranked for getting good at random seed for a lot of reasons. RSG is mostly about reset efficiency. Um, RSG is about maximizing the amount of seeds that can be really good and resetting the ones that are bad, but you don't reset in ranked. You have to play every single seed. And ranked, you're guaranteed to get a playable seed, whereas random seed, the entire challenge of random seed is getting a good seed. So as soon as you launch your first ranked game, that's already taken 90% of the skill out of random seed out of it because you have literally been given a playable seed. You didn't have to earn it at all. You're just given it.